All right, we're live.
Sweet.
It is. You're always the date guy.
What is it? October 17th?
October 17th, yeah.
It's Friday, October 17th with Dave and myself here. We're going to be going through a couple topics today. Yeah, how's everything?
Not too shabby. Not too
How
shabby.
about the Blue Jays?
Sports. Yeah, I'm wearing the Jays hat right now.
Yeah.
Tanya, our massage therapist, gave this to me today. I didn't own it walking in here, and so she had some extra ones lying around. So that's I'm on the bandwagon now.
Extra ones. She just has a
She got it from
collection
a
of
client.
hats.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I guess for Canadians, it's a half decent time to be a sports fan, depending on what other sports you're watching. But
I'm actually not watching the Blue Jays
no,
intentionally because as of today, they are 5-0 when I'm not watching in the playoffs, and 0-3 when I do watch. So I know my role. Okay, until something changes, until something reverses, like I'm not watching and they lose, then we got to roll with it because that's just analytics.
yeah, that is. It's the butterfly effect. You know what? Like, old me would have made fun of you for that, but I am also 0-2 while watching the Leafs this season, and they're 3-0 without me watching. So, you know
It's
what?
science.
It's science. And the other thing, too, is if I don't watch them, and even if they do lose, no stress for me. My night's not ruined. I can
Yeah.
live on with my life. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Turns out.
Sometimes being a fan means not watching.
Yeah, exactly. Reading them from the sidelines, not paying attention. But if it was playoffs, then I always watch and I always get disappointed. So, but I haven't been actively watching the Jays.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, just keeping tabs on them.
That's right.
Yeah, you're watching your football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Thursday nighter last night. Bengals came back. Well, they were leading most of the game. They came back from behind. Joe Flacco, 40 years old, goes down, drives the field, game-winning field goal. Bengals, who everyone wrote off in that game, take the win versus Steelers.
Go bang go. Nice.
Go Bengo.
Yeah. My buddy's a big Bengals fan. That's what he says. That's what we say.
It's
too.
Houday.
What's up?
Today.
Houday? Yeah, but he says just go bang go.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think that's a thing.
It's not a thing. It's
Yeah.
it's an us thing. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah, so sports is in full effect for a lot of the sports fans, I guess, which means weekends are usually full with lots of really good, tasty food and sitting on the couch. And
Oh yeah, we had Thanksgiving weekend last week.
we did,
Mm-hmm.
we did had that
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah, where we it's a good excuse to get together. I guess for some people they still watch NFL football, but eat the turkey, eat the stuffing, the potatoes, all the good stuff.
Yeah,
Lots of desserts.
We don't really do that anymore because no
No.
one wants to cook, so we just order out sushi,
Nice.
and I think everyone's happier.
Yeah,
It's
no,
great.
sushi, Chinese, that kind of stuff is like great for those types of events.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I'm working with the nutrition challenge that we've got going on right now, and
Yeah.
the big thing that I said leading into that weekend was have fun,
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. It's
Mhm.
important to not take things seriously every single day and be able to enjoy yourself. And that's like, I mean, when it comes to working out or eating habits, just do the good things most of the time, and then
Yeah.
don't worry about it on the the big events. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. I was telling someone this morning, don't ask me how many date squares I ate over the weekend, because that's yeah.
Yeah, your mom is deadly with her baking, so
Yeah, and it's actually my mother-in-law that makes the date squares,
Okay,
and
okay.
very deadly too. So
also deadly. So you got it from both sides.
yeah, unfortunately, and that's my weakness, sweets. So, but yeah, no, Thanksgiving was a good one. I didn't work out on the weekend, and I ate bad, and then I came back early in the week and felt the effects in my first workout. I am still currently feeling the DOMs in my legs from my squats at the start of the
Oh.
week.
I don't think I feel anything when I'm away for or if I do something for just a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
It's just get back to it. It's harder to get back into it,
Yeah.
but I don't really feel those effects. Now, if you're going to let that linger on and make it into a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day thing, and then you get back into it, that's where you're going to have some issues where it's going to be problematic, right?
Yep.
So you just got to you have done it enough times to know that it's gonna suck, but it's not gonna suck as much as you think it's going to suck.
Yeah.
And then you'll just feel better. It might not look the same as you normally look, but 80, 90, 95% of what you usually do is infinitely better than 0% of what you usually do.
Yeah, big time. And I'm feeling the effects in my legs still because last week I didn't get my squat day in. I only benched and deadlifted, so it was a week, like over a week since I had done it.
Truth comes out.
Yeah. So when I squatted at the beginning of the week, it had been just over a week, and for whatever reason, for me, it's that 1 week period. My squats just feel it if I.
Yeah, 1 week. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, which is realistically like that's about the time frame when you start to, at least to some degree, lose some of your gains, I guess is the bro sciencey way of saying it.
Yeah.
Where you start to see a little bit of regression. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy because like it doesn't seem like a long time, but that's what shows the importance of the consistency with it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. On that topic of me mentioning bro science, I have a segment here. It's called Bro Science versus Real Science.
Okay.
And I'm going to list a couple of, I guess, not so much fitness terms, but just concepts in the health and fitness world. And we'll have a discussion. You can tell me what you think, whether each of these is either real science backed by good, hard scientific literature, or if it's broy. And not to necessarily say that one is bad. I don't think bro science is always bad. Sometimes it's bad, but sometimes it's good to just go by the feels and do some fun things. So I've got 3 things to discuss here. And the first, you're going to let me know if you think this is bro science or real science. A arbitrary squat stance, meaning if you're squatting, your feet have to be hip width apart and toes have to be pointing forward, and that's what makes a good squat.
Arbitrary.
Yeah, that's the rules. You've heard that before, right?
I haven't heard the term arbitrary. I just know. I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say. It's like
written in the textbook.
Someone has chosen an arbitrary. I think you basically debunked it by calling it arbitrary.
Oops.
Right?
But like you read a textbook in a lot of like the fitness textbooks, and they'll say this is the form that you need to do to squat.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so what do you think? Is that bro science, or it's in a scientific textbook? So
I mean, it's mostly bro science, but it depends, right? The reason why they might be giving you that, I always like to think about or take the considerations of the textbook or whoever is giving the instruction or whatever. The reason why they're giving that is probably, well, this is a good place to start, right? If you're going to start nowhere else, if there's nowhere else to start here.
Yeah.
Right? But, it's never going to be the case that if a textbook or a trainer or anyone tells you need to do an exercise this way or have a stance a certain way, it can't possibly be right for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A good trainer is going to always give you a starting point. So maybe that is the starting point, but it shouldn't be the way that you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You would do it, assess how they move based off of it, and then you have to take a look in consideration of all their joints, ankles, knees, hips, spine, anthropometric ratios, things like that, to determine what the stance is going to be.
Yeah. And also just like comfort and efficiency too, right? Like all of those things put in practice. It's like if you're squatting with that really narrow stance and it feels really bad on your hips, or like you can't get to full depth, then if you want to widen it up, point your toes out a little bit, and that feels way more comfortable, then like that's the way to do it for you. Like you said, because like nobody has the same anatomy. Everybody's going to have some differences there.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason why I bring that up is because, I mean, even just talking to clients in the gym and stuff, like you hear it often. They're like, oh, I was told like that's the way you're supposed to squat, otherwise it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, like you said, it's a good starting point, but I find if there's ever like a black and white way to do something, then I don't know if that's like the best advice. Like
No.
There's gray area everywhere.
It can't be.
Yeah.
We are gray.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can give some cues to say, okay, this is going to help with like efficiency. This is going to help make the exercise feel easier for you or better for you. And then you can really try to like hammer those home. But yeah, I think.
What would you say to a client that came up to you and said, oh, my last trainer told me I needed to do it or I had to do it this way?
I might ask them like why, what was the rationale behind that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter who I work with. I get them to try a wide variety of them or like make little adjustments based
Yeah.
on their comfort level.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, if that feels the most comfortable for you, then you're going to get the most out of this exercise
Mm-hmm.
in this moment. So if you feel stronger, if you feel you can get deeper, if it just feels generally comfortable, then you're not going to like come into the gym really feeling like, oh God, I got to do that thing that I really suck at,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes that happens anyways. Every time I go into the gym to squat, I'm like, oh God. But yeah, I usually tell people that everybody's different, so they might have a way that just works best for them, and that's the way that we're going to stick to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
It's best not to demonize the people that came before you. I
Yeah.
always find, because I'm sure that you never know.
Yeah.
Right. It could have been a younger me.
Right.
Right. Like
Right.
it could have been me at 22 being like telling you have to do it this way because I saw it in the textbook.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be the first to admit that, like, as you grow more and more senior in this industry, you realize that, like, there's really no framework. It's like just a bunch of tools in your tool bag, and you grow that tool bag as you become more senior and have a better understanding of
Yeah.
the different types of people there are out there and what you've experienced.
Yeah. I think because I was the same way. I learned things and I was very kind of like stuck in my ways with those, and then you evolve, and then I'm well past that point of saying somebody like they're bad at their job or like they're wrong or whatever, because they could be young and green. They could have had a different type of rationale, right? Like you could also argue that there might be somebody who feels a lot more comfortable with a wider stance in their squat, but for whatever tasks or sport performance that they need to do, they also do need to train a more narrow stance, even if it doesn't feel as comfortable. So if they're coming at it from that point of view, then they could easily be right as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, not saying somebody's wrong, but just saying let's find out the way that's going to best fit your goals, your comfort levels, and get the most out of your session, and simply leave it at that. Yeah. So overall, I would agree with you. Squat stance, there's no one right stance. That's a little bit more bro science-y. Do what works best for you. The next one, because this is another one that I've heard a lot of people talking about and asking, like, what should I be able to do? And there's like a little bit of a trend on social media, but there's weight standards for exercises. So like the average male between this age should be able to squat X amount of weight, should be able to bench this amount of weight, deadlift this amount of weight. Is that bro science or real science?
Bro science, because there's no should, right? I mean, I could go on and just like dance around it the whole time, but if you were to ask me, then I would give you like some numbers, but I understand that they're relatively arbitrary, but kind of procured over like my experience, right? Here's some good numbers so that you're maybe in the 80th or 90th or whatever percentile, or maybe 50th percentile, depending on what your goals are.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there are just good estimates, good kind of benchmarks that if you're trying to get stronger, you can try to get to that benchmark. Or at the very least, you're just setting a goal for someone. Like, let's get you to this point, and then let's keep working past that if you want to. But like, if you see like someone's like, you must be able to squat, your body weight, and if you can't do that, you shouldn't feel bad about that yet. Because like what we were just talking about, the squats. Some people are at a real advantage for their squats just based on their body anatomy, and some people are at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, if we're really going to measure that, we kind of have to measure the force on the joints and the muscles, and that's how you would control it across different populations, not absolute weight, because that's external load is not going to be indicative of force that you're experiencing internally.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't know if like the body weight thing is like, again, it's good benchmark, but if you have someone that's maybe coming into the gym with a goal to lose some excess body fat, so they're holding on to more body weight that isn't necessarily lean muscle, and if they're new to it, then they're going to have a higher standard than someone who maybe has more lean muscle mass, so they're going to be at a disadvantage for that, right?
Yeah.
So
let's talk about actually coming up with those numbers, though, right? I haven't really given this much thought, but we can go through with the big three lifts: squat, bench, and deadlift. And personally, I think with a squat, it'd be what is your body weight, because you have to squat your body weight too. What is your body weight plus the weight on the bar, and create some standard of that, right? So if you're an overweight person, then doing an air squat, body weight squat could be an impressive feat, right? That could be good enough for you at that time. So incorporating your body weight plus the weight on the barbell together. I don't know what that number is. We can, but we don't have to talk about that. Bench press would be probably external load only, right? Unless you want to measure horizontal pressing strength by a function of push up instead, like a weighted push up or something. But there's too many variables with that. That's why we go with bench press.
Mm-hmm.
And then deadlift, just how much weight you can pull off the ground. Probably a little less function of your body weight, but still body weight really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you have to take into consideration all those things, as well as height and limb ratios.
Yeah, like I've got really long arms relative to my body, so that's why bench is always kind of the bigger struggle of the three. But then you see people with like super long femurs, and it's like that squat is just that's so much extra work with the extra range of motion that they have to go through. And like you said, like the ratios of their their bone lengths and stuff, that's going to add a tremendous amount of strength, just like an extra couple of inches there, or a tremendous amount of stress on the joints, right? I have a really hard time figuring out like what the right number is for that stuff. And I find I struggle if somebody asks me, but I think I base it a little bit more off of just like sample size. Like there's a lot of people that can do approximately this. Exactly. You don't have to hit that, but that could be a good goal to work towards, right? Yeah. But yeah, this is more like when it's saying you should be able to do this, especially if you have no experience in the gym. Like, no, you shouldn't. You got to take it much slower than that to get into that.
And we're not going to sit here and have this entire conversation. I don't know how long it's lasted now, talking about different standards. We're not going to have this conversation with our clients. We're going to tell them, oh yeah, like 100 pounds is good.
Yeah, right? It's a good start.
It's a great start. 200 pounds is a good start. Yeah. Wherever you are, right? We're going to give them answers based on, well, for me, probably the denominations of the weight plates. Like 135, 185. That's a good point, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the plate math.
Still relatively arbitrary.
Yeah, and when someone hits that goal, it's like, okay, what's next? Okay, you hit 185. Yeah. We going for 225 now? Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
And there is a stopping point, right? Like, there's gonna be some people out there that absolutely don't need to squat 225 or bench maybe 185. Like, much less than that is probably good enough for all of their needs in life. Yeah, they're maintaining their lean muscle mass by doing weights lower than that. They're able to function. So why set that standard if you don't even need to be hitting that, other than like it's a challenge. So I'll try to get stronger. Okay, final one. This is the guy that got me into fitness in the first place, Tony Horton, P90X.
Oh,
muscle confusion. Is that bro science or real science?
Confusion. I mean, both. Depends what you mean by confusion, right? Like, if you become super efficient at a certain movement, right? I mean, if you want to define that as being muscle literate, right? Versus you introduce a new movement that your body is not as accustomed to, and if that means your body is confused, it's going to probably be, you're probably going to feel it more, right, in terms of hypertrophy and tissue damage, because you just haven't used those muscles or used those muscles together in that fashion. Yeah. So both.
Yeah, it's like, because some people talk about like muscle memory and stuff like that, and like muscles don't have a memory. Your nervous system can create new pathways to build more strength, and those will stick around, and you can
that's kind of a memory, though. I mean, it depends how you want to define it, right? If it's based off your nervous system, if you have like an efficiency of like how your motor neurons are recruited, then that could be like a memory, right?
It's semantics is what it is.
Yeah. If I were to stop working out for a year and get back into it, yes, I wouldn't be where I am now, but I would still be like way ahead of someone who's never worked out, right? Yeah. It's not like, because of what you might refer to as muscle memory.
Yeah, and you'd be able to get not necessarily back to your peak, but get up to a really high standard of strength for you quicker than someone who's just brand new to it too. So yeah, I think like what you said, muscle confusion isn't so much like, oh, I'm just going to do all of these different movements and jump around to like confuse them so that they grow more. But it's like, if there's a certain movement that you're really efficient at, then your body's not going to, or your muscles or your joints are not going to react to that stress in the same way as if it's something that's foreign to it.
Mm-hmm.
So like a good example of this, you might see someone who can like squat the world, and they've only ever worked in that like sagittal plane, in that plane of motion, and then you introduce them like a lateral lunge or something like that, and they're like, oh my god, like I was just doing this body weight and I felt that. Right? So if your body's not used to it, then it's going to take more time to build up to that stress and get better at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree. It's somewhere in between.
But with like Tony Horton, he's probably saying you always need to confuse your muscles, right? Which is not the case. You're not going to get good at anything if you don't continue to hammer that and have repetition and like continuity.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I think that a good program can have some variety to keep things fresh for people and keep things interesting, but you do want consistency with a lot of the big things that you're trying to get better at. Like if you're getting better at leg strength, then you probably always want to be deadlifting or squatting or using that staple exercise and sticking with your lunges and keep getting those better instead of I'm lunging this week and I'm not going to do that again for another 5 weeks. Right.
Yeah.
So
it's like, it's interesting you bring that up. Depending on the client, there's going to be differences on the way that I approach their programming. What the optimal thing would be is that you're literally doing the same thing for maybe 12 weeks and we're just changing load, intensity, and volume throughout the course of the week, and very slight, like from week to week, right? That's what I would program for someone optimally, and then switch it up after the 12 weeks based on how they respond, and then introduce other things that are a little bit different but not necessarily super different. But from the business perspective, if I were to program group classes in that fashion, how bored would people get and how fast? So it's balancing that, getting people to come in the door every single day, but also doing what's most optimal for them in that fashion, right? So considering a little bit of repetition of the things that we're doing and a little bit of similarities week to week, and small adjustments, but it's a balance between optimal science and optimal business sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. And the people that can do it, and I'm totally good on them. If they don't need our services, they will be doing that on their own at a box gym.
Yeah.
Right. But other people that come to our gym, they come because they need a little bit more guidance than just working out on their own, right? And a little bit more motivation. Needs to be a little bit more interesting, right? But don't get me wrong, we do have clients that will certainly be disciplined enough to do the workouts in the fashion that is most optimal, and then we'll program them that way too. Yeah.
Well, I agree, because I think there's different goals. Like someone coming in for a personal training session has very specific goals, and not to say that someone coming in for like a group fitness class doesn't, but I think a lot of times it's just I'm coming in to get my exercise in, whatever that might be, and I want it to be fun and interesting and social, right? That's a little bit less about like I'm gonna come in and I'm just gonna grind the same thing over and over again. So there's a time and a place for that. But yeah, like if you're working with an athlete with specific strength goals, you gotta hammer away at the same things kind of over and over again. I'll usually just like sometimes where I might add the variety is like towards the end of the session with some of the accessory stuff, just like variations of the same movements, just to keep things fresh.
Beginning of the session is the highest priority, end of the session is lower priority.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that that's something that maybe it's good to clarify for people, that you don't want to be constantly changing things up all the time. If you have a very specific goal to hit, there has to be some consistency. And I think that kind of just leads into the discussion of the next segment that I wanted to do, which is explain like I'm 5. So someone who is not, didn't go through their education in the health and fitness world, and has maybe heard the term progressive overload before,
Yeah.
but doesn't really know what that is. How would you explain to someone, a 5-year-old, what progressive overload is? We're kind of talking about it a little bit right now.
Progressive overload would be like comparing like a 12-foot wall that you have to climb versus a staircase that leads up to that 12-foot platform,
Yeah.
right? It's only one step at a time and you can't take it all at once. But if you take those steps at a time, then you can get there eventually with progressive overload.
Yeah. So like, but we're touching on it, right? Because to get up that staircase
Yeah.
to the top of that wall, every time you do a certain exercise or get better at that one thing, you're taking that step up. And so you need to keep doing that thing, but just a little bit higher so you can get up that next step. A little bit more so you can get up that next step. So if it's for a specific exercise, for example, you were talking about how you change like volume or weight or intensity and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I'm only going to be squatting at a certain weight and I'm going to stay there, then I'm going to I might be able to get up to, the first 5 steps, but then all of a sudden I'm not at a point where my body can get me up the rest of those steps to get up to the top of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be a small amount of increases in intensity so that your body can learn how to handle that and get stronger so that it can take you up that next step.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then on the other side of things, the not progressive overload, if you're just going to scale that 12-foot wall, you might, if you can't do that, you could hurt yourself. You could fall off the wall. Right.
Yeah.
And so if you're not slowly building up to that, that's usually when people get hurt.
Yeah, I don't know if that is one problem. I don't know if it's the perfect analogy that I've used.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I think that the bigger problem is they're standing at the base of the wall and just keep walking into the wall.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Right? They're just at the first step. They're not really willing to take that second step. They're not really interested in climbing the wall. So they're just at the base of the wall, walking into the wall.
Yeah.
So I would say that is the bigger problem than someone trying to scale the wall.
Okay.
Out of those two problems, I would say the trying to climb the 12-foot wall at the same time is the better problem to have.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, because you can speak to their motivations by saying, hey, if you want to get up that wall, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Whereas the other person has no interest of climbing the wall.
Yeah, that's a harder, for sure.
Yeah.
Another analogy that you could use is, let's say somebody 5 years old, for whatever reason, they're just like, my dream in life is to be an accountant. I want to be a really good accountant. And so they go up into grade 1 and they start learning how to count.
Are you making fun of accountants, or are you?
No. I wouldn't want to be one, but I respect the hell out of them for doing that.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, if you stopped at your grade 1 math level,
Yeah.
you're not going to be an accountant when you're older, most likely. If that's the highest level that you can do, adding 2 plus 2 equals 4. So then you go into grade 2 and you start learning some other things. You go through your primary school, you go into high school, you go into university, and each time you're taking that step up, you're learning harder things. Things that take a little bit more effort, things to take a little bit more time for them to kind of sit and for you to get. And eventually, when you keep adding that intensity of that schooling, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I can be an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're going into a gym and you're like, I'm not going to go any higher than 20-pound dumbbells, that's good enough for me. Well, then you're kind of limiting yourself to maybe like that grade 3 math. And so if your goal is to be the accountant, or if your goal is to have really good strength so that you can play your sports, or you can get into your 70s and be able to fully function in your house and go up and down the stairs, then if you're only staying at that grade 5 math level, you're going to run into a lot of limitations and struggles with a lot of things in life. But if you keep slowly progressing and building up and introducing more stress to your body, yes, it's harder, Yes, it takes a little bit more time to kind of learn those tools, but eventually, if you keep increasing the intensity of whether it's your schooling or your workouts or whatever those goals might be, maybe it's cardio, then you can hit those goals easier. But if you're not
Yeah.
doing that, then you're really limiting yourself to your body's ability to do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's good to relate it to something that's not equal, like a staircase where every step would be the same amount, right?
Yeah.
It makes more sense that, those last steps are potentially more complicated and tougher to climb, but still very possible. It's like a video game too, right? Like, it's super easy at the beginning to go up to the next level, next level, next level, but then it becomes way more tough. But you're also being more equipped, well equipped, because you've gone through these early levels to be able to achieve that next level.
Yeah. It becomes a bit more of a grind later on, but that's what you have to do to get to that next higher step.
Right.
It's kind of like the Tough Mudder like ramp wall that you go up. It's like those first few
yeah.
steps on it,
It's
no
like
problem.
like a quarter pipe.
Yeah, exactly. That's it will get harder, but
Outdoor high rocks.
yeah, with way more running. But that's how I view progressive overload. If you want to get better and you want to achieve something, you have to stress your body beyond what it can tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
That way it can adapt to that and it can say, oh, that was way more than I can handle. Now I need to get stronger. I'll build up. And then once I'm there, I'm not going to get better if I stay at that same level. So now I have to introduce a little bit more to keep my body adapting and moving on up.
I wouldn't say beyond what it could tolerate, because then you would get hurt.
Sorry,
As close to the limit of what you can tolerate as possible.
Yes, enough stress to break it down just a little bit so that it wants to build back up even stronger. Yeah.
Just to clarify. I know what you meant. But just to clarify.
We're not saying go get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's not always the best strategy. I feel like that's probably the way to explain progressive overload and why some people come into the gym and they're like, why is this not getting easier?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because it is. If we went back to what you were doing 2 months ago, you would find that very easy. But what we're doing now is just slowly ramping up that intensity, and it always feels the same.
You think it's easy for me? It's the same.
Yeah. Sometimes harder.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you have to, like the heavier weight you're putting on the bar, the more stepwise progression you have to warm up to, right? It's not like you can go to the percentages that everyone else does, because that's like could be starting at 250 pounds, and the human body is still the human body. It's more resilient, but it's not like you can just do insane things without building up there, even within the confines of a single session. Yeah,
exactly. So that's progressive overload for a 5-year-old or for anybody who wants to know what progressive overload is. I've got one more new segment. I kind of feel like Caleb Presley. We have a new. Do you want to do this new segment brought to you by X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, if anyone wants to sponsor our podcast, we probably need a little bit more than the number of listeners we have right now.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'll plug in Factor meals that are built for you.
So we are holding court right now. Okay. This is gym etiquette court, and I'm going to give you a crime that someone might do in the gym, and we're going to come up with a sentence together. And we can either compare that to a real life crime sentence, or we can just say, like, here's the gym equivalent of that.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is dropping an empty barbell to the floor.
Oh. Not the worst thing. A sentence.
Yeah. What's the sentence for the crime?
Take apart the barbell and clean it and oil
it. Tighten the screws.
And then you'll understand what kind of components are inside there and how it's all put together. It's not just a piece of steel, right?
Yeah.
There's complexities that can be damaged from dropping it empty, because the bar is designed to take drops when they have absorption from the rubber plates that are on it. What were you thinking in the line of?
Not that it would necessarily break a barbell by doing that, but you do that enough times and you would. I think the sentence is you got to go out and buy a barbell so that you can figure out how much an empty barbell actually costs, a good high quality one.
Yeah.
Sometimes you look
I
at it and
like
you're
the
like,
elbow grease method a little
yeah,
better because it's like
that's community service.
someone exactly. Someone could just have lots of money and be like, "Oh, sorry, here's $400."
Yeah.
But to take your time out to take that, have you ever taken a barbell apart?
No.
All right, I'm gonna make sure that you learn how to do that.
Okay. I've put one back together, but I've never taken one apart.
It's not like hard, but it's a little bit tedious, and obviously, like anything, it doesn't come apart the way that it's meant to because of rust, wear and tear, and things like that. So it's a little bit annoying, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think my penalty is just because sometimes I don't think people realize how expensive gym equipment is. Right?
Yeah.
Like you even mentioned $400. That's for like a reasonable barbell. That's a pretty solid barbell at $400. But there's a lot of them out there that can go up to like $1,000.
Yeah.
Just for an empty bar.
Yeah.
You look at anybody trying to build a home gym, and like if you just want like a good solid gym with a squat rack, bar, plates, all of that stuff, like you're looking at least $10,000 just to get a little basement gym going.
If you get nice stuff. You can also do it for cheap though, but
yeah.
I mean, we are using our stuff here all the time. So it needs to be better quality so that it can be durable enough to withstand that.
Yeah.
Including things like drops, hopefully, potentially.
Yeah. I think it's fine if it happens accidentally, but you just don't want to get in the habit of just dropping an empty barbell all the time. Yeah. I did it once accidentally at another gym when I was in school. And oh my God, the look that I got from the gym owner. Like I thought.
Well, did he say anything?
No, but he just stared at me and just shook his head. That was it. And I was just like, that look was worth 1,000 words. So I'm not going to name names, but
it's that's funny. Hey, if you don't want people to do it, and I'll also say this and take responsibility too. If you don't want people to do it, you have to make sure that it's known.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to take responsibility yourself to make sure that's communicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about this for a crime? Somebody not putting their weights away.
Crime penalty. I don't know. That's not the worst thing, and it's like could be potentially innocent, right? You just forget.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that that's really a problem at this gym, like at all. I think people are great at putting stuff away.
Do you know why?
Because it's the rules.
Because it's communicated.
It's communicated, exactly. But like if you walk into any just kind of like global gym, whatever, you're always going to just see like a full barbell loaded, just left there, right?
Well, it's not like, I mean, this is kind of going down a tangent, but it also has to do with what you're paying for, right? You go to World Gym and it's $10 bi-weekly. You get $10 bi-weekly customers.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like it's insanely expensive with what we do. We have some things that we offer that are a little bit more expensive, but it brings in like a quality of person that is, understanding that, hey, this is a community. Like I want to contribute to this place being nice and tidy, and for the next person that's going to use the equipment.
Yeah.
So it's kept well.
Yeah, there's different levels of social behavior, I guess. You go to a grocery store and, a lot of people put their carts back. A lot of people just leave them right in the middle of the parking lot and don't, I don't know, maybe those gyms that have like the $10, $15 memberships need to come up with a barbell system where you have to like put a loonie in it. And you can't get the loonie back until the weights are off. But I don't think that would work that well.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, that's what people have to do with shopping carts.
Yeah.
Right? It also boils down to, I like the shopping cart analogy actually, because it also boils down to like what kind of person are you? Because the returning of the shopping cart is the ultimate test, because there's no rule really that says it.
Yeah.
But that it's a dick move not to. But you're deciding inherently that I don't care about the person that has to clean this up. I don't care that this is in the way of the parking space for the next person that's coming in,
Or it could roll and hit somebody's car.
I don't have to put this away, so I'm not going to. It's like, what do you do when no one's watching or no one is judging you?
Yeah.
Is what makes you the person you are.
Yeah.
Right? And probably in a global gym, it's a lot of people that are not the ideal member here.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of people in those gyms that are great and they put everything away, right? But like you said, it's like this social standard. There's a group of people that just don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And that's like why this is gym etiquette court. It's proper etiquette to whatever you use, clean it up and put it away.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Final one, and then we can probably call it at that. And we can go pre-COVID, post-COVID for this one, but you leave a big sweat stain on a bench and you don't clean it up.
I think that's pre and post. I don't think it's pretty gross either way.
I think standards changed between that timeline though.
Yeah. People are better nowadays. But I always thought it was gross before anyways.
Yeah.
Penalty or the sentence for the crime. First offense would be 1 hour training seminar with me talking about why you shouldn't be leaving sweat marks on your equipment. Second penalty would be 1 week suspension. Third penalty would be banned for life.
That's some hefty penalties for this one. Yeah, I like the 1 hour session. You got to have like a full session on infectious diseases and their transmission, and like
it's like when you're late for work and you have to like in like a corporate job you're late a certain amount of times and you have to do like a training
course. Yeah.
Oh man.
I always thought it was funny for physicians who are doing their residency where they're putting in like ridiculous, like 80 to 100 hour weeks, and they're absolutely just like gassed and they're super stressed and have a lot of anxiety. And sometimes the solution is, okay, we're going to get you set up in an anxiety and stress course. Let's just add more to the plate.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. That's brutal. But we didn't come up for a sentence for the
we didn't.
The weights away.
I thought about that too. We didn't actually come up with a sentence.
Yeah.
Whatever type of weight it is, clean all of them in the gym.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah. I think if it was like a set of dumbbells or something, I'd be like, okay, you have to take every dumbbell off the rack and then put them back on again. And then if it's the plates, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an infectious thing though. When people are tidy around you, it makes you be tidy too, because you don't want to stand out as the person, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Well, that's what I love about this gym. It's like the second people are done with something, they're going right for the spray bottle, getting their wipe, spraying everything down. It's great.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of wraps up today's pod, unless there's anything else you wanted to add in there.
No, nothing. Nothing for today.
Well, as always, if anybody has any questions or things that they want us to talk about, let us know, because we can always include that in a future episode.
Yeah. Like, share, subscribe.
That's the
one. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.